Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today, we're checking out top 10 cult British sitcoms.
From local radio to local shops, heavy drinking and hospital beds. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 cult British sitcoms.
Oh, right, so now she's finished with you, suddenly you're in love with her again.
Exactly. Duh. That's how love works, Mark.
Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe for more great content.
Is it?
For this list, we've gathered some unconventional comedies for a strange and surreal look at the finest and funniest UK shows.
Okay.
All of today's entries boast a dedicated fan base, but if classic comedies are more your thing, or you have a liking for modern greats, then be sure to check out our other videos to satisfy your sitcom urges.
Okay, cult British sitcoms. What could possibly be on here? What is a cult sitcom? I guess it's something that didn't have much commercial success, but it has a big fan base, maybe? On the thumbnail was that space show, and I feel like I saw that a long time ago on PBS or something. Only Fools and Horses. I've never seen it, but I've heard it mentioned in these videos before. And I think that guy, second from the left, I think his name is David Jason, or Jason David, but he was the original voice for Danger Mouse. Just learned that in another video.
Number 10, The Mighty Boosh. We start as we mean to go on, with off-the-wall humour and confusing but
Guy on the
quotable
left
jokes.
looks familiar.
The Mighty Boosh is a three-series sojourn through space and time, spearheaded by Julian Barrett and Noel Fielding, the most prominent figures in the titular comedy troupe.
Can't even feel it. It's like brown smoke.
A mystical musical celebration of silliness, it sees Howard Moon and Vince Noir muddle through misadventures in the Zooniverse in Season 1, struggle to get their band off the ground in Season 2, and expertly mismanage the Naboutique in their third run. We can also thank Boosh for the crimp, an unorthodox brand of cappella music which, if you haven't heard already, will quickly become your new favourite thing.
This looks interesting. Did they say it's through space and time? So like Blackadder, what's wrong with your hair? It's like brown smoke. The Mighty Boosh. Who's that guy? Noel Fielding, Julian Barrett. Buckinghamshire. Buckinghamshire. Oh, there was a stage show. Okay. The Mighty Boosh, Arctic Boosh, Auto Boosh, the Boosh. What is the Boosh? The Boosh, then consisting of only, that's the name of their group? King Dong versus Moby Dick, which they played a giant penis and a whale, respectively. Oh, so it was a stage show first, and then... Okay. That's what I'm getting from skimming this. I'm not going to read it all. Oh, Steve Coogan's company produced it. Way to go, Steve. Another good call. Oh, there might be a Mighty Boosh film coming. Boosh. They're number 10. Not bad. I gotta watch this.
Number 9, Nighty Night. And with Terry's condition gradually improving throughout the series, she pulls out all the stops to get her way. It's definitely not for the easily offended, but TV sociopaths are rarely better than this.
I like this actress. She seems really funny. I love the darkness of it. What a great idea. Nighty Night. So her husband gets a cancer diagnosis and she wants him to die. But then he starts getting better and she still wants him to die. That's funny. She uses the cancer diagnosis to manipulate new neighbor Kathy Cole, who suffers from MS, and her husband Don, a doctor, and the man with whom Joe becomes increasingly obsessed. Immediately after her husband begins cancer treatment, Jill goes to a dating agency. Man, I love characters like that. They just make the wrong choice over and over. Oh, this looks funny. Super dark. I love dark humor. This looks good.
Number 8, Black Books. As a two-time BAFTA winner and receiver of widespread acclaim, Black Books is one of the biggest critical successes to make today's countdown. A show created by Dylan Moran and Graham Linehan, it centers on the day-to-day lives of bookshop owner Bernard Black, his accountant-turned-assistant Manny, and his only friend Fran. As Bernard's shop slowly falls victim to waning sales, pest invasions, and his own intolerance for customers, it falls to Manny and Fran to try and interject some enthusiasm into the place. But Bernard is having none of it. A moany-groany, delightfully downbeat meander through the world of retail and the seemingly doomed plight of a print media salesman, Black Books hits exactly the right note.
That looks pretty funny. This woman looks familiar. Her. Who is she? I've seen her before. Black Books. Dylan Morrison, Graham Lineman. Fran. Who played Fran? Tamsin Greig. What a name. That's like a Star Wars character's name. What's she up to? Why does she look so familiar? She's been in something I've seen. Greenway, Black Books, Shaun of the Dead. That's what I've seen her in. Great. Black Books. I gotta check it out.
Number 7, The Thick of It. If you've ever wondered about the inner workings of government and your local legislation has left you struggling to find the right swear word, then The Thick of It should be right up your sitcom street.
This reminds me of In the
show
Loop.
uncovers an inside story to British party politics and its routinely problematic relationship with the media, the workforce, and the general public.
He looks familiar.
Largely centered on the fictional Department of Social Affairs and Citizenship, the show's most famous son is the formidable Malcolm Tucker, a savage spin doctor and overall enforcer. Not since Shakespeare has one man magicked so many new words, only most of Malcolm's are outrageously offensive. Omnishambles did make it to the OED though, so good for him.
This reminds me of In the Loop. It even has that same actor. Is that what? Hang on. They might be connected. A feature film spinoff, In the Loop. Yes. That was a great film. So this is the show that came before it. I love that actor. Peter Capaldi. This guy. He's a great actor. He's funny. Oh, he was in Doctor Who. The Doctor. Did he play the Doctor for a while? He was in World War Z. Oh, he's working, y'all. Wonderful. He was in the Suicide Squad. He was the voice of Rabbit in Christopher Robin. Paddington 2. This guy. What a career. Wow. Great work, Peter. Doing it. Great work.
Number 6, The Young Ones. A crop of unruly undergrads, a bleak and soiled student house, occasional outbreaks of extreme violence, regular performances by leading rock bands.
Lemmy.
The Young Ones doesn't comply with typical sitcom conventions, but it led the way for alternative comedy in the early 80s. Vivian, Rick, Neil, and Mike are thrown together for the sake of their education, but chaos quickly descends, with Aid Edmondson's iconic punk usually at the center of it. The show served as a springboard for Rick Mayall too, who co-wrote and starred, while the guest cast list reads like a who's who of comedy at the time. From male pregnancies to casual decapitations and not so hardcore parties, this show sure raised some hell.
Steve Coogan. Wow. So one of the characters got decapitated. I admire that. End of series. I've heard of this one. I don't know if I would like it. I bet if I saw it back in the 80s, I wouldn't have liked it. The guy with the red hair is very, it's a little ungrounded, you know, kind of cartoony. Who am I to talk, right? But it's a little like, they're going for the laughs. Maybe a little too hard. But that's how it was back then. Like, I'm not shooting it down, but I just think it might be a little out there to enjoy now. Although decapitations are kind of funny.
Number 5, I'm Alan Partridge. You'd be hard-pushed to find a more endlessly quotable comedy character than Steve Coogan's Alan Partridge. A spoof radio star turned TV icon, he's unashamedly narcissistic and obliviously out of touch. But that's exactly why we love him. With 2 series released 5 years apart, I'm Alan Partridge sees the serial showman struggle with the low points of his life. Whether he's working the graveyard shift on local Radio Norwich, or recovering from an off-screen mental breakdown and Toblerone addiction, the trademark smirk rarely wavers and the Partridgeisms flow freely. He lives in a hotel, he can definitely tell entertaining anecdotes, and he doesn't like Joni Mitchell. But he's Alan Partridge, and he can do what he wants.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch this. Steve Coogan, one of the greats. So there's only 2 seasons of it? 2 series of 6 episodes. Oh, there's only 12 episodes. Won a BAFTA award in 1998. Right, I love Steve Coogan. I gotta watch this. Where does one get it? Maybe I have to get a VPN. I have a VPN. Maybe it's on Netflix.
Number 4, Absolutely Fabulous. Staying on top of the latest trends is a tough business, but AbFab's Eddie and Patsy have devoted their lives to it nonetheless. That and heavy drinking. Jennifer Saunders and Joanna Lumley star as the have-a-go socialites, hell-bent on staying cool no matter what the cost. With only Eddie's daughter Safi to offer any semblance of normality, they're a double act always one drink away from disaster. And it's so easy to get hooked on their melodramatic misadventures. So if you haven't already, best notify your next of kin, invite them all round and take inspiration from Eddie and Patsy's liquor habit and binge the entire show.
Definitely heard of Absolutely Fabulous. And Jennifer Saunders, I just learned her name a few days ago in another video. She's a comic icon, and she's working still. A lot. I think they made a movie. I think they tried to make an American version of this, and it didn't catch on. I'm surprised that this one is a cult favorite, because this seems pretty mainstream. This is one of the most popular British sitcoms that I've ever known of, right? The 2 women use their considerable financial resources to indulge in cigarettes, alcohol, mostly champagne, and recreational Ds, and to chase the latest fads in an attempt to maintain their youth and recapture their glory days as mods in swinging London. What is a mod exactly? Is it from the 60s? A mod. Saunders revealed in 2012 that she was inspired by pop band Bananarama, with whom she and Dawn French had become friends after their comic relief collaboration in 1989. The nights with Bananarama were some of the best nights of my life, and I got a lot of gags from Bananarama because they were big vodka drinkers. When I started doing AbFab, I remember all of the falls that I saw Bananarama do. I once saw one of them coming out of a cab bottom first and hitting the road, and I thought, that's class. What's a cab bottom? What does she mean? Oh, coming out of a cab bottom first and hitting the road. Okay, so they fell out of a cab on their arse? Wonderful. Put it in the show.
Number 3, The League of Gentlemen. Not to be confused with the similarly named Sean Connery film, The League of Gentlemen is black comedy at its brutal best. It started on the stage before converting to TV around the turn of the century, skirting the line between weird sketch show and even weirder sitcom. The surreal action takes place in Royston Vasey, a closed-off community unlike any other. Every character, regardless of gender, is played by the show's 4 male writers, and almost everyone has strange or sinister intentions at their core. A
Sounds
self-confessed local place for local people, the town sign warns you'll never leave. But if close to the bone comedy is your jam, then why would you want to?
This looks funny. I love that every character is played by the same 4 guys. And in a small town, that probably makes it seem like everyone's related and maybe inbred. That's funny. And everyone's just doing horrible stuff. That's a good idea. This person, they look the same. They look like the same person. Is that a prosthetic nose? How'd they do that? Are they brothers? A surreal British comedy horror sitcom. Oh. Mark Gatiss, Steve Pemberton, and Reese Shearsmith. Jeremy Dyson. I don't think they're related. They just look similar. Looks like they dropped the laugh track in the 3rd series. I don't like laugh tracks. That's good. That's something I don't really like about sitcoms. Like I guess back in the day, laugh tracks were just, it was like watching theater, but now a laugh track feels like takes me out of it, you know? Makes me realize we're in a room with people. Makes me aware that I'm watching TV. I don't need to be told when to laugh, you know?
Number 2, Spaced. Edgar Wright takes the director's chair for this early Simon Pegg and Jessica Hines comedy, and a stylized trip into the lives and minds of 2 20-somethings trying to find ways to kill time in their small city
He's
flat.
20-something?
Tim and Daisy meet following a random encounter while separately house hunting, and decide to pitch up together in a bid to find a better place. Various friends, lovers, and lodgers stop by to spice things up as well, for a series packed with pop culture references, deep and meaningful conversations, and drug-induced daytime raving. It's today's runner-up and Tim's packing Jaffa cakes to celebrate.
Yeah, I've heard of Spaced. I just learned that that's basically where Simon Pegg got his first big break, and Edgar Wright was the director, who eventually did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and The World Is Ending, is that what it's called? And other stuff. Baby Driver, he's really talented. Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg. I love how Edgar Wright edits to music. It's really satisfying. Great work, Edgar. Great work, Simon.
Before we reveal our top pick, here's a few honorable mentions.
A Touch of Cloth. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Green Wing. Oh, he looks familiar. Who's that actor? He looks really familiar. Green Wing. British sitcom in a hospital. Oh, hey, Tamsin Greig is in this too. Way to go, Tamsin. Way to go. Olivia Colman? Dang. Stephen Mangan. That's who Gosh, he looks so familiar. What did I see him in? What did I see him in? Why does he look so familiar? I don't know. I don't recognize any of this stuff he's been in. He was in I Am Alan Partridge. I can't place him. Looks so familiar, doesn't he? Damn, what was he in? Oh. It was a TV show called, Seasons? Or Episodes, maybe? It was a show with the guy from Friends, Joey from Friends. Dang, what was that called? Matt, damn it. Yo, I have to find this. I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, Friends. What? Matt LeBlanc is his name. Right, okay. And then he was on a show called Episodes. Oh, and she was on... Oh, yeah. That's what... Oh, it's coming together. That's where I know Tamsin from. She was on Episodes. A great show. Really funny. And so was this guy. Okay. Episodes. Yeah, it's coming together. I know those actors. I don't know them, but I've seen them. They're very good. There she is, Tamsin.
Number 1, Red
Tamsin.
Dwarf. Sci-fi meets sitcom for today's winner, with a cult following to trounce anything else in the universe. Red Dwarf first took flight in 1988, with 8 series completing an original run which lasted over a decade. The show sees the crew of the eponymous spaceship travel through galaxies encountering otherworldly creatures, while the spaced-up setting proves backdrop for some spectacular onboard bickering, especially between Craig Charles's Lister and Chris Barry's Rimmer. The service mechanoid Crichton is another inexhaustible resource for funniness, even if he is hardwired to keep it clean. Well-received reboots in 2012 and 2016 prove it once and for all. Red Dwarf is still the best smegging show on TV. Do you agree with our picks?
Sure.
Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo UK and subscribe for more great content.
Great. Red Dwarf. I have seen episodes of that. I think it was on PBS for a while in America. It's a mining spaceship. In the first episode, set sometime in the late 21st century, an onboard radiation leak kills everyone except lowest-ranking technician Dave Lister, who was in suspended animation at the time, as punishment for smuggling a cat aboard the ship. The cat, Frankenstein, who was revealed to be pregnant, is safe in the cargo hold. Following the accident, the ship's computer, Holly, keeps Lister in stasis until the radiation levels return to normal, a process that takes 3 million years. Lister therefore emerges as the last human being in the universe, but not alone on board the ship. His former bunkmate and immediate superior, Arnold Judas Rimmer, a character plagued by failure, is resurrected by Holly as a hologram to keep Lister sane. They are joined by a creature known only as Cat, who was initially thought to be the last member of a race of humanoid felines that evolved in the ship's hold from Lister's pregnant cat during the 3 million years that Lister was in stasis. In Season 1, Episode 3, Waiting for God, it was revealed that the cat priest had also survived and was living in the hold of the ship. Wow. The pitch meeting for this must have been pretty brilliant for them to get that approved, because that sounds pretty out there. A feature-length special was released in 2020. Hey. Wow. From 1988 to 2020. I don't know if I can watch all that. That's a lot of TV. Yes, some of these I haven't heard of at all. A few of them I have, like Absolutely Fabulous and this one. That's what I want to watch. What's it called again? Nighty Night. That's what I'm getting out of this. I want to watch Nighty Night. Well, this was great. Watch Episodes if you haven't already. It's really funny. It's probably available on, I think it's on Netflix or, I don't know. Google search it, Anyway, thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.